Okay, hello. Welcome to week 2 of our 8-week Intro to Digital Design. I hope the first week went well for you guys. I know that it was a lot of content and a lot of just like getting everything initialized and a lot of questions, and everything happens so fast in this class. It's normally a 16-week class, and the content does not change when going from a 16-week to an 8-week. We just have to double everything up, so it can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a couple of things that I wanted to mention to you guys that I didn't last week, and I want to make sure to talk about today. And that is to make sure that you have notifications turned on for both Canvas and your Sierra College email, so that you will get notifications when I post an announcement or when I send you a Canvas message or an email, because that communication for this class or for any of your online classes is vital, because you can miss something and like that, just get behind and feel really overwhelmed. So I want to make sure you have your notifications turned on. There's a Canvas student app for your mobile that's really handy, and it will prompt you with due dates of things. There's a calendar. You can go on and take some of the quizzes, and it makes life a little bit easier if you are not constantly at a computer. So I highly recommend getting that. It's a free app. And then also wanted to mention that check your email and then make sure that you are emailing me either through Canvas or with your Sierra College email, because those are the primary ways that I can stay in contact with you. So those two things, super important. There is going to be this week of design concepts and terms, and then design elements and principles, which is more of just theoretical and design practices, before next week when we get into software. So that means that you guys have got the rest of this week to tackle any technical issues that you're having with software. The announcement that I posted the week before class started was there's a computer software hardware checklist, and in that email there's step-by-step for what the hardware requirements are, how to install the software, and who to contact if you're having any issues with the software. Last term, over summer was the first time that this term, at the beginning of this term in August, was the first time that Sierra College offered the subscription for free to the students, and it has not been without glitches. And some people have no problem whatsoever getting signed up, and others it seems to be real finicky and fidgety, and there's nothing that I can do, but there's a link to Student Tech Services, and they can reset your account and get you set up. And so that's what you need to do. So make sure you check out that announcement. It was also, I believe the information was in my welcome letter, but follow up there, because starting next week, we are going to dive straight into Photoshop, and we're doing 2 weeks every 1 week. So you're going to be in the software right away next week. And the expectation is that you have the software and that you're ready to go. So look for that announcement. Make sure that that is all taken care of this week while you're studying things that are more theoretical and less practical, and we're not getting into the software quite yet. Does anyone have questions about any of those things before I move on? You're all good. Brian and Jessica, add your last names to your your Zoom ID, and then I'm going to take roll. I'm just going to screen capture my participants list so that I can make sure I mark you guys all as here. This week's class was meant to be right off the bat offering a extra credit opportunity for anyone that wanted to present their design movement or style report. That was one of the assignments for this week. I don't know if anyone has had a chance to begin research, have any ideas or want to talk about that at all, but this is what this week's Zoom was set aside for. So I'm opening up the floor right now. You will have to unmute and share your video if you would like to share, but it is an extra credit opportunity, and we will have a few of these throughout the semester, just extra credit opportunities to share and to start a conversation about what you have learned so far. So that said, nobody has their camera on, so I can't see your faces. Would you guys just use, I guess, I don't know, put a thumbs up or turn your camera on or send me a chat if you do want to present. Otherwise, we are going to move on from that. The lecture for your graphic design, we're good, right? Nobody wants to share. Okay, so I'm going to just touch base really quickly on the 2 lectures that are super important for you to look over this week, and then I can cut you guys loose. And I'm going to take a screen grab right now of who's here, so you all will get credit. And then Araya, you're going to stick around and you and I are going to talk. If anyone else wants to chat with me, you can put your name in the chat and I'll stick around and answer questions or give you one-on-one assistance as well. But really quickly, I want to just share my screen and make sure we're all on the same page. It's funny because those of you that are able to make the Zoom are usually the ones that know your way around Canvas backwards and forwards. And so it's a little redundant for me to give you this information, but I am also recording this for those who can't make it. So I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with our Canvas. So I'm on the modules section of my teacher version, so it looks a little different from yours, but you can see that I've got week 2 and week 2 part 1 and week 2 part 2 opened up, and these are all of the things that you're going to hit this week. It's divided up into part 1 and part 2 because it's the equivalent of our 16 weeks of curriculum. The Graphic Design 101 Concepts and Terms lecture, and then the Elements and Principles of Design lecture are the 2 most important things for this week. They're the 2 things that you're going to be quizzed on at the end of the week or whenever you get to that quiz. It's a lot of information, and my expectation from giving you this information is just to expose you to some of the concepts and terms, and then have you use this information not only when creating your designs when we get to some of the projects later in this term, but also when you're giving feedback to your peers and when we're talking and presenting in our Zooms, that you will recognize and be able to use some of this terminology and some of these ideals. So it's really straightforward. It's not difficult at all. Anytime that you guys want to talk about it or have questions about it, we can talk about it more in the Zoom, but the information is all here broken down for you. And it's basically almost like a vocabulary with examples. The main thing to remember about the design elements and principles are the elements are the things that you use to create your design. They're, physical things. And then the principles are the theories behind that and how you use those elements. So that's helpful to remember when you're looking at these 2 things and trying to remember which goes into which category. But other than that, it's real straightforward. It's pretty easy, and it may be your first kind of experience with the language and the vocabulary of graphic design, and it may not, but just kind of, it's an overview. We're doing it quickly in 1 week, and then when you are writing your reports or doing your reviews, draw from those words and draw from that what you learn in those 2 lectures, because that's, you know, that's the purpose of our whole class, to get better at design. So that said, that's really all I have today. If nobody has a presentation that they would like to share, but if anyone have questions, now's the time. Turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and let me know how I can help you. Otherwise, you're free to go. And thank you guys. There's going to be a couple weeks like this where there's just, you're mostly on your own and there's not a lot for me to say. So thank you.